memory I cherish across the veil of years could have been here to see him.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a little bit of a, I guess, horror story for you guys. I don't know why I haven't shared this story yet. It is probably one of the most terrifying and frightening sets of stories that I know that revolves around 3 of my friends. So here's where this kind of starts. The first thing I would like to point out and have you memorize while I kind of tell these stories is the fact that all 3 of these people did not know each other at any point in time while these all took place. Basically, as the story goes, my friend, as she grew up, would see some sort of figure. Basically, the way she described it was more or less like a demon. And she was not the only one in her family to see this demon. Her grandmother used to see the demon as well when she was younger. Throughout random points in my friend's life, she would see this demon person thing pop up here and there. The way she described the demon was as a tall, lanky, yellow-skinned looking guy with almost vampire-looking teeth, with kind of almost, at times, I guess, black, deep black eyes, and at sometimes red eyes. He would also wear a trench coat and a bowler hat, and his clothing was always, I guess they would describe as old and tattered. Now, this demon would show up all the time as she was growing up, and a lot of the times no one else would ever see it except for her, and a select few other people, which included her grandmother. I remember her kind of telling me this story, and I wasn't too into the paranormal at the time, so I wasn't really sure whether or not I believed it, but she used to tell stories about this demon literally possessing people that she knew. So she once went to a party, and this girl literally got possessed by this demon that only my friend saw in the room, and that her friend, the person who was in the room with her at this party, literally was just like losing her shit and just doing weird, abnormal things and just acting all sorts of crazy. So as far as I'm aware, my friend back in the day used to be involved in Wicca, which she no longer is, and obviously for valid reasons. Apparently, whatever it is that used to follow her at some point decided it was going to attack her violently in her room. So simply after that violent scenario that happened with whatever's been following her for her entire life since childhood, she's decided she no longer wants to dabble and experiment with those sorts of things, because she told me that she was literally terrified. She couldn't even really give me all the information about the stuff that happened, just that it was so fucked up and crazy that she just said, no more, I'm not having it. And the weirdest thing about it is the fact that she's not a religious person, so to say, but when stuff happened to me and one of my ex-girlfriends at the time, I don't know if you heard that story. If you haven't, I'll post a link to that story so that way you know what I'm talking about. After those things happened to me and my ex-girlfriend, I called her up and I said, listen, you gotta help us out and you gotta suggest something. You know what she told me? She literally told me to go to church, which is the craziest thing considering it's coming from an extremely non-religious person to the point where you can more or less consider her an atheist. Anyways, a little further down the road, I had another one of my friends who came to me, just basically explained to me that ever since he was a child, he's had something following him and kind of torment him through his entire life. Literally following him, he was viciously and violently attacked out of nowhere in the middle of his hallway at home by this thing, and just all sorts of crazy stories. But his story is like ridiculously long, so I can't explain the whole thing. But one day I decided to ask him, what did it look like? So he describes to me a man in tattered old clothing wearing a bowler hat, one of those like circular hats that are kind of like circular on the top, kind of like a sphere, with kind of like white yellowish skin, with pointed teeth, who was always smirking, and who had just like these crazy dark eyes. What I thought was insane was the fact that what he described was exactly what she described. I don't know if it's just by chance that they both described exactly the same character, but it's almost like this thing kind of follows certain people and jumps from one person to the next. The craziest thing, and the reason why I believe him totally, is the fact that one day we were going to his house. It was me and my girlfriend at the time. So he lives in a bungalow and the roof is really not that high up. So we pull into his driveway, we park, we're facing his house, and my girlfriend in the car starts freaking out and she goes, "Oh my god, Ange, do you see that on the top of the roof?" And I'm looking and I'm like, "See what? Like, what am I supposed to look for?" And at this point the sun hadn't set yet, so I mean visibility was quite clear. And she goes, "No, seriously, do you see that on the top of the roof?" And I'm like, "No, what am I looking at?" She says, "There's a man sitting on the top of the roof staring." And I said, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, seriously, there's a man on the top of the roof in like this old clothing just like staring at us." And I'm like, "What the f are you talking about?" And then I clued in and I'm like, shit, that's exactly what Frank always used to see ever since he was a kid growing up. So it was kind of funny because she was like, you don't believe me, you think I'm crazy. And I'm like, no, I actually kind of do believe that you're seeing what you're seeing because you're not the first person who's seen it. So I convinced her, I'm like, whatever, let's just go inside. And we're with Frank at the time, and I'm explaining to him in Italian so she wouldn't understand, that she saw exactly what he usually sees, sitting on the top of his roof staring at us.
Where did it go?
Now the story kind of evolves from there, that I have a third friend who doesn't know the other two friends. None of these friends know each other, keep that in mind. So the third friend tells me a story about basically seeing the exact same person tormenting him and following him in his house, which is absolutely insane. A lot of the times he said that it would appear in the basement and it would just kind of like torment him and taunt him, sort of thing. Descriptive wise, he would literally see the exact same person. I've been trying to do a little bit of research, and it seems like it's a pretty common phenomenon that people see this demon looking character and they all seem to describe it in exactly the same way. Now I shit you not, I personally have never seen this guy before, but I swear to God if I saw him I'd probably lose my shit. But yeah, I mean that's the way the story goes. It's a little crazy, and I believe all three of them, absolutely. I mean, realistically, the fact that they've all kind of described exactly the same character is just insane. I hope you guys enjoyed this little horror story. I hope it doesn't keep you from sleeping tonight. I know it's a little bit crazy. What I want you guys to do is let me know in the comments below if you guys have ever seen any sort of ghost, or tell me like your best personal paranormal experience if you've ever had any. If you've never seen a ghost before, let me know that, hey, I don't believe in ghosts, I've never seen one in my entire life, so obviously they're not real. But yeah, and if by chance you've seen the exact same character, write that down in the comments below because I'm interested in what you guys have to say. Other than that, guys, that is all from me for this video. Thank you for watching. I just want to let you guys know that I'm working on a ton of new projects for this channel and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out, so that way you know when I post the next set of videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.